Today we're talking about messaging, and I've developed 5 messaging personas to help you up level your content and all of your messaging, whether that be on your sales pages, whether that be on your website, on your socials, anywhere that you are communicating with your audience. These 5 personas are going to help you appeal to the different buying types, the different personality types. Because as you may or may not have heard me talking about before, not all buyers are created the same. Yeah, some people like to buy with data at the heart of their decision. Other people like to buy based on personality and relationships. So there's all different ways that people buy and invest. And therefore, we need to echo and empower your audience through different uses of messaging. Yeah. Now, I'm not here to talk about language and words. I will save that for another episode. This is all about the people and the style and the tone of voice. So I've made a note of the 5 personas and I've got them here on my phone, and I'm going to walk you through them one by one. And then my question for you is, which one are you? Okay. Which one are you naturally? Which one can you dial up when you need to? Which one would you never be, never want to be? Yeah. And actually, which one do you want to be moving forwards? Okay. So I'm going to walk you through these 5 personas, these 5 messaging personas, or I maybe should call this tone of voice personas, because it's really like the tone of your content, how it's portrayed, how it's perceived by your audience, by your viewers, by your readers, by the people who are stalking you, waiting to decide when the right time is to work with you. Okay, so right, let's get into the first one. So the first persona I'm calling the big sis. Okay, so I am a big sis, so I know this tone well. So this is, you give the blunt truth, right? So any of you that are a big sis, you know that you will turn around to your little sis at any time and say, that outfit doesn't look good on you. Your bum looks big in that dress, right? Big sisses are there to deliver the bold, harsh truth if it needs to be delivered. So do you do that in your messaging? Yeah. Do you empathize? Because a big sis will always look out for the little sis, right? Like, do you empathize? Do you care? Do you nurture? Yeah. But at the same time, give that bold, blunt truth. Yeah. So as a big sis, you've probably been there, done that, got the t-shirt, but a big sis is always happy to give helpful advice. Yeah. So this is how it worked for me. This is what I think you should do because this is how it looked when I did that thing. Yeah. So you've got like a been there, done that attitude, and you're happy to hand down your lessons and advice. Your tone is nurturing, and it feels like an arm around the shoulder. Yeah. And because of that, trust builds quickly, reliably, and consistently with your audience. So the big sis tone of voice is nurturing, it's direct, but it feels very much like, come here, let me tell you about the world, like, let me tell you about the rights and the wrongs. Yeah. So it's very nurturing, but also very supportive, and at the same time reflects on lessons and gives advice. The next persona is called the doctor. And the doctor is you if you are always diagnosing, always looking for the root cause so that you can help solve the problem. Yeah, you're looking to really diagnose what's going on for your audience, helping them to see new ways, new perspectives through the value of your knowledge. Okay, you stick to the facts, and you prescribe clear solutions. So if you think about a way that a doctor communicates, certainly my doctor, there's no fluff and niceties. It's very factual. It's based on knowledge. It's based on experience. It's based on, learnt skills. And you are being helped to diagnose, this is the problem. This is what we want the outcome to look like. This is how you're going to get there. I'm going to prescribe you this course of action. Okay. So you've got a reassuring tone and a good bedside manner, and your audience feels supported by you. And more than anything, they know that they can rely on you and trust you because of your knowledge and expertise. Okay, so that is the doctor. Are you a doctor? The third persona is the detective. Yeah, and this is a persona or a tone of voice that you've figured it all out, and now you're ready to spill the tea in a very cut and dry manner. Yeah, think for those of you old enough to know what I'm talking about, think about Columbo, like the way that he dissects it all at the end, and suddenly you're like, oh, yeah. Yeah, it's that sort of tone. So yes, you spill the tea. It's very cut and dry, and it's very observatory, but you figured it all out. Yeah, you've cracked the code. So it may be that your content comes across like you've explored many solutions to the problem, you've tried and tested, and you've ruled out methods that don't work so that you can speak from experience, right? You're a detective. So you have detected that actually when you do this, it doesn't work. When you try this, it doesn't work. But when you do this in this way, this is what gets the result, okay? So your manner, your tone is that you've cracked the code and you're going to share the solution, and you build trust as that credible expert, the person that's figured it all out, yeah? So are you the detective? Does your content come across like the detective? The next one, this is a fun one, is the fortune teller, right? Are you the fortune teller? Do you see future trends? Do you predict what's coming on the horizon in your niche or industry? Do people come to you for your opinion on the future? Yeah, you're inspiring. Do you inspire your audience through your wisdom? Do you open people's eyes to new ideas? Is your content saying, hey, have you tried this? Have you thought about this? This is what I see happening. You could try this instead. Yeah, so you inspire people, you open people's eyes to new ideas. You can paint pictures with your words. Think about what a fortune teller does. They're like, imagine if you could do this. Yeah, like, is it that sort of like inspiring language? Be careful, though, not to be seen as too fluffy. Yeah, yes, you want to inspire. Yes, you want to talk about future predictions. And yes, you want to be seen as that go-to person for your audience to come to and say, what would happen if I tried this? But you don't want to also be seen as too fluffy, okay? So if you are the fortune teller, think about adding in some facts as well as the inspiring stuff. And then the final persona of the 5 is called the gossip girl, right? So are you the gossip girl? You love to tell client stories. You love to share the behind the scenes of like, guess what's happened? Guess what's going on? Yeah, like you love a bit of gossip. Are you sharing client success stories all the time? Are you exposing what works? Are you building connections and trust with your audience? Yeah, like, are you the girl that's like in the communities, getting on with everybody and saying, guess what I tried? You should try this. Yeah, you're giving your advice, but you're doing it from the perspective of what's going on for you, what's going on behind the scenes, what's going on for your clients, sharing the love, sharing the goss. Yeah. Be careful if you are a gossip girl. I mean, gossip girl is great because, spilling the tea and sharing what's really going on behind the scenes, people love, right? Your audience are going to love it that they get to see that glimpse of what goes on behind the curtain. But be careful not to give too much away if this is you. Be careful that you want to create enough curiosity for people to want to reach out to you for a chat and download your lead magnet. Yeah. So if you spill everything, if you tell everything, the curiosity won't be there. There won't be enough curiosity, and they'll just think, well, they've got the goss, and they'll move on. Yeah. They'll move on to the next gossip girl. Yeah. So you don't want to spill everything. You want to keep some curiosity. You want to keep some level of expertise so that they have to reach out to you, and therefore you get the inquiry, gossip girl, okay? So, are you a gossip girl? They are the 5. Let me just run through them again for you. We've got the big sis, yeah, the arm around the shoulder, very nurturing, very blunt delivery of been there, done that advice. We've got the doctor, yeah, diagnosing the problem, sticking to the facts, giving you the root cause and telling you what needs to be done. Are you the detective? You're always diagnosing and trying new things, detecting what the best strategy is, and then delivering it in a very factual, blunt way. Are you the fortune teller? Very inspiring. You're predicting of future events and things that will happen if you do a certain thing, try a certain method. Yeah, but be careful not to be too fluffy. Or are you the gossip girl? You're always spilling the tea, always sharing the goss, showing what goes on behind the scenes, telling stories, saying, hey, this is what happened for my client, and this could happen for you too, right? So are you one of those 5 personas? My question for you is this, right? Which one are you naturally? If you hadn't listened to this and you weren't aware of these 5 personas, which, this is my method, by the way. I haven't got this from anybody else. I have created these 5 personas based on what I see, what I know of biopsychology. Many, many years I've been trained biopsychology, sales psychology. I know how to sell, even to the people that don't want to buy. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm doing that to any of you ever, but I have been trained to do this from a psychological place, okay? So if you didn't know any of this, which one are you? Which one are you naturally? And if you recognize which one you are naturally, and actually you also recognize that you want to sort of dial up on a secondary persona, which would be the persona that you would want to dial up on? Which is the one that maybe you're not naturally, but you want to bring certain traits and qualities of that persona? Which one do you want to be? When you're creating content today, this week, this month, how do you want your tone of voice to be perceived? How do you want your personality to come across? What do you want your messaging to have the underlying tone of? Okay? Because these 5 personas are all quite different. They all do similar things. Yeah, they're all sharing content. They could be you at any one time. They could be me at any one time. But which one would you ideally want to be? Now, what I am going to suggest to you is that at different times in your content strategy, you need to be all of them. Not on the same day, that might give you a bit of a problem, yeah? But in certain pieces of content, it may be in video, you want to have a certain tone. So maybe in your video, you want to be the big sis, yeah? The kind of, come here, girls, let me tell you how it is, right? This is how it worked for me. I've tried this and actually it didn't work, but let me tell you what would. Yeah, if I was going to do this again, this is what I would do. That would be a big sis type of video. But if you were going to do a carousel where you wanted to do a sales pitch at the end and you wanted to diagnose the problem and the pain that somebody was experiencing and show them that was a completely different way that they could go about solving that problem and that your offer was the solution, then maybe that would be you being the doctor. Yeah? So have a think about these personas. I will see if I can type these all up into the show notes for you. I'm sure over on YouTube I'm allowed enough characters, but if I can't, if it won't let me get all of the personas, the notes that I'm sharing here with you, if it won't let me do that, then I will add them to a Google Doc for you and you can just message me and get the personas, okay? Like I want you to be able to read through these as well as listen. Although you can listen back to the podcast and watch the YouTube video as much as you like, because that will help my listen time and my watch time. So please feel free to do that. But I know it'd be super helpful for you if I drafted these onto a Google Doc. So give me a few days to do that for you. And check the show notes for a copy of that. So I hope that you found this useful. Hope that it was helpful. Hope it's opened your eyes to new ways of being seen through your content, new ways of portraying who you are and what you do, most importantly, how you help, okay? So use these 5 personas and let me know how you get on.